Well, we've just had the fifth democratic election, and one can certainly make a very positive statement about it, and that is that it was free, fair, open, peaceful, stable, and it gave a result which isn't being questioned. 20 years on, that's quite an achievement, and we do need to keep that in mind. I was involved in a campaign which said don't vote ANC or DA. We'd said you can spoil your ballot if you wish, but rather take your vote for a smaller party. Certainly from my erstwhile colleagues, and I think his as well in the ANC, they took it so badly and attacked us in such a mean-spirited way that it made one very worried about a ruling party and a government in power in terms of the ignorance that was shown, that in the words of a particular minister of public administration, no less, who said that spoiling a ballot paper is actually a crime and I should be charged with a crime. I mean, it was this kind of stuff. Traitors, agents, etc. It so diminished the ruling party and its spokespeople and government that it was really very, very sad. And I think that does bring us to the point that you raise, tipping point. I might later on in the discussion, we should come back to that. I am a believer in these sort of changes that take place at specific times. Marikana, I think, really heralded even more than in Kantla these kind of events and processes that we've reached a particular change or tipping point in the country, and it gives us advantage now to look and examine them, which we need to. But I so agree with the presentation that was made, which talked about the statistics, which actually, despite the president proclaiming, as obviously he must, that this was a great triumph for the ruling party, that this was a great mandate from the people, that the people have spoken. In fact, in an examination of the statistics, it's incredibly sad. To add to the points you've made there, that in fact the ANC garnering just over 11 million votes, but those who didn't vote at all, who abstained, are actually 14 million. So that's a figure of 44% who just didn't bother, whether it's cynicism, disillusionment, alienation, I would think. 44% as against a ruling party now, 36% of the possible vote of the country delivered the mandate, has elected the ruling party. And Molitsi, I can remember in our heyday abroad in the camps and talking about this term democracy, and sometimes looking at Western democracies and even post-1990, etc., saying, my God, the president in America or in Britain or wherever, the prime minister, they've only been elected by 41% of the people. And we thought, what kind of democracy is that? In 1994, all but 14% of possible voters voted. And this time, that figure comes down to, from 14% who didn't vote, it's 44%, yeah, who did. So this is a sign. This is incredibly worrying in terms of what it says. I probably would end there, except to say, given that it was 5 minutes, that we need to understand it, but I believe that the signs are that we have a ruling party and a ruling power that's in denialism. Denialism about massacre at Marikana, about Nkandla, about the kind of corruption that's taking place, about the good, honest presentation of the Tuli Madonsela, the Public Protector's report, as though this is white lies in the terms of a Minister of Education, by the way, who's also head of the Communist Party. So we have that state of affairs, and that denialism makes one wonder now. Final point, President gets inaugurated tomorrow, Cabinet gets appointed after that. We'll look for the signs to see if the ANC are taking stock of an encounter of Marikana and everything else. Is that massive cabinet going to be reduced because of the excessive bureaucracy and cost of it? And then what kind of legislation is going to be heralded when we have the State of Nation address? If this government cannot take stock of the writing on the wall of Marikana, which needs to be seen in the announcement in his State of the Nation speech, it's going to make things even worse. So one's got to watch these coming days very intently.
Okay, thank you.